Welcome everyone again. So in the last video, I had discussed about the topics which we're going to study in this particular topic, that is political parties. So we discussed that the chapter would be divided into four different legs, okay, where we're going to study it in four different parts. So today I'll be talking about the first part, that is why do we need a political party. Before getting started with that topic, there is a small introduction here which has been given, which actually talks about how much importance political parties and how much importance politics play in India. Fine. So basically here, especially talks the book talks about how important a political party is. Like, suppose if I'll give you an instance, if we go somewhere, let's suppose if I go somewhere to a place, and if I'm in a train or somewhere, so the very first thing which you will hear from people who are having conversation would be about what? Yeah, it would be more about politics only. कि इसने ये किया, वो किया, his policy and that policy. So basically, politics run in our blood somewhere. We are so much connected to politics and political parties that even though we don't know a thing about politics, we still tend to support somebody or the others, right? So this is how Indian politics works. Nobody knows much in the detail about politics or political science or the politics which happens here, but everyone here supports some or the other political parties. Fine. So this particular topics only, this introduction talks about the importance of political party and politics in India. And most probably in India, mostly we actually, as a democracy, feel that democracy is somewhere connected with political party, or the political party is the one who actually, runs the whole system. So political party actually is a very important stuff here. So this is not that important. This actually gives you a very brief introduction of things. So this is where the things start to play. So yeah, the first one would be the meaning. Like I said over here, look at the left hand side. The meaning. The first important thing which is important for the exam is political party's meaning. What actually is the meaning of a political party, right? So let's see what a political party is according to NCERT. So a political party is a group of people who come together to contest election and hold power in the government. Very important. Please take this up. I'll be taking this up here, and you all can take it up as well in your book. So basically, a political party is a group of people who basically come together and hold power in the government. So basically, they try to say here that a political party is basically people who share the same ideology, and they all come together. And what do? They contest election, right? And then after contesting election, if they win, what will happen? They'll hold power of the government. As simple as that. Okay, people with the same ideology coming together to contest election and then to hold the power of the government. Fine, this would be your simplest answer to the question, what is the meaning of your political party? Now, the second point, they agree on some policies and program for the society with a view to promote the collective goods. Okay, this would be your second point. Please take this up as well. So basically, here they talk about that these people, the politician, they all try to come up on the policy and program which the people in the society actually wants, and it can do the welfare of the people together. Okay, here it says that a collective good here talks about that everyone together kind of get the benefits of the policies and things which are implemented. Now, so this would be your meaning for political party. So it's as simple as that. Political party is a form of is a thing where a group of people come together to who have the same ideology and contest election and then win or hold the power of the government. The second point which you can write is they agree on some policies and program for the society with a view to promote collective good. So because political party, it's very important to take everyone together. So that's what it is trying to say here, that everyone together should come along. For that, they have to come up with some or the other policies and program which have the same thought and process, and everyone comes together. Okay. Now the next point is, yes, since there can be different views on what is good for all, parties try to persuade people why their policies are better than the others. They seek to implement these policies by winning popular support through election. So this is what politics is all about, that every party or the other, they try to persuade the people and they try to tell them that their policies are better than the other party. This is what politics is all about. Fine. And political party is all about, they try to enforce their policies and programs to people, and they always try to persuade them that their policies and programs are better than the other party. Fine. Like I suppose in India, if I'll tell you that there are two parties which are actually very important, Congress and BJP, the two most wanted parties in India. Congress on one hand supports a centralist form of society or a government, where they think that neither a society should prefer, or they are in, if I can say, they are in favor of both the rightist thought and the leftist thought. Fine. Whereas BJP is a party which actually is known for its right wing support. So this is how, and then they try to enforce their thoughts and ideology on people, and they try to tell the people how their thought and ideology is better than the others as well. So this is also a very important part of political party. Now, so meaning ho gaya, the meaning is done. This is one important thing which is important for the exam. Now the second thing is, one second, where's the, yeah, the components. We'll talk about the component, but before that there is this word and stuff which we're going to study here. Okay. Thus party reflects fundamental political division in a society. Party are about a part of society and thus involve partisanship. This is very important. So basically, even though parties are there, but they actually kind of conclude or kind of put a division in the society, and because of this, the party also involves to have partisanship. Now what is partisanship? Have you ever heard of this word called andbhakt? है ना, andbhakt. So this word basically is used for which particular party and members of the party. So this particular word is basically used for a party in India that's called BJP. And basically what happens is, the people think that the people who blindly trust BJP is called andbhakt. And this basically will sum up the definition of partisanship. So partisanship is something wherein a particular person blindly trusts a particular party without knowing the real facts and figures of the things. So yeah, that's what happens when a political party comes into play. It actually divides the society, and then it also involves partisanship. Now we'll talk about the components of a political party first. So basically, the component of the political party here that talks about three major components. They can ask you an exam that what are the components of a political party. So you'll write the three components of political parties are the leader, very important. A leader is very important. Then the active members, and then the followers of the political party. So these are the three components of a political party. We are done with the two topics. Now we'll talk about the function. That is very important. There are 7 functions in total, and this is a very important topic for your exams. Fine. They can ask you in 5 marks or 3 marks. Okay? If they ask you in 3 marks, you will be writing 3 or moreover 4 points, and for 5 just write 5 points. Enough. Fine. So let's see what are these 7 functions of a political party. Let's see. So the first particular function of a political party is a very major or a very basic component, and that is a political party will always contest election. This is very important, right? The first major significance of a political party is that it will always contest election. Fine. So this is what it is written. Political party contests election. In most democracy, elections are fought mainly among the candidates put by the political parties. Parties select their candidate in different ways. In some countries, such as USA, members and supporters of a political party choose the candidates. Now, more and more countries are following this method. In this country, like in India, top party leaders choose the candidate for contesting elections. So it's basically saying that in every democracy, what happens is that candidates of a political party, has been chosen for a particular constituency. Like in India, let's suppose if a person wants to contest election. Let's suppose a person called Arnab wants to contest election for a particular party called Candy Party. Okay, so to contest election here, there is a process to get ticket from the party. So in a lot of countries in Western country, what happens is Arnab will be chosen for the ticket from Candy Party from the members. Okay, the members and the followers mostly will members and the leaders and the followers will be choosing up the particular party, sorry, the particular member, okay, who would be contesting the election from the Candy Party. Fine, this is what happens in some of the countries. Like if you go to US, the members and support of the party will choose the candidate, but in India it does not happen like that. Okay, only the top leaders of the political party will choose the members. I'll give you an example. Like here, like I said, in US, let's suppose in USA, Arnab wants to contest election from Candy Party and he wants to get a ticket to contest election. For that, he has to actually first get the consent from the members and the leaders and the followers, and then only he'll be getting the ticket. But in India, what happens is if Arnab wants to contest election in India, he has to actually be in good terms with the top leader, the top leaders of the particular party. Okay, the top leader of the political party, and these top leaders can give him the ticket. Okay, this is what happens in India. They need not not to convince the members and leaders and the followers. The only thing is that the top leaders will be giving them the party, sorry, the ticket. Fine. So this is what happens. Contestant F election is important, and then it also talks about different ways to contest election in India and US. Okay. Now the second one is party put forward different policies and programs. So what happens is every, like we talked about, different every political parties have their own agenda and policies and program which they would run once they win the elections. Fine. And while making these policies and program, they will make sure that the masses, okay, the masses are included. Because if the masses are not there, then what happens is in the next election there are chances and possibility that they might lose the election. So if the policies and program are generated or made for the masses, then the chances are that they will win the election next time. So the second important point is the political party makes or put forward different policies and program. Fine. So all the policies and program which are made in India, you will now be knowing that they are made by whom? Some or the other political party which is in power. Fine. Let's read it up once. So party put forward different policy and program and voter choose from them. Each of us may have different opinion and view on what policies are suitable for the society, but no government can handle such a large variety of view. Exactly. So every particular government will have their own different policies and program, and not every no government can handle everyone. It's very hard to actually satisfy everyone's thoughts and demands. So what happens is in a democracy, what happens is we actually choose a program or policy which kind of is very much suitable or very much connected to the people, to the masses. Okay, which affects actually the masses. So in a democracy, a large number of similar opinions have to be grouped together to provide a direction to the policy. That's what it is trying to say. That is what parties do. A party reduces a vast multitude of opinion into few basic position with which it supports. Fine. So this is what happens. So the parties, the political party basically makes all the policies and programs. Fine. Fine. Now, next, party plays a decisive role in making laws of for a country. Okay, fine. So this is also very important. So in India, whatever laws are made, we all know that the laws and rules are made by one particular organ that we have already read in the last chapter, last to last chapter, the first chapter, power sharing, and that organ which is involved in lawmaking is called what? Is called legislative. Yeah, and the legislative have people, who run the government, and the government is run by political party. So indirectly or directly, you can say that all the political laws are made by political parties. So yeah, that's what the third point is, that a political party actually plays a very important role in making all the rules and regulations in India. So whatever rules and regulations are made, it has been made by the political party here in India. Okay, and sometimes what happens is that even though sometimes the members of the political party may not agree with the rules and regulation, but they still have to support their political party. It happens a lot of time. Like in BJP, there's a guy called Subramaniam Swamy. I hope that you must have heard of him. And he sometimes openly criticizes Modi for his actions. Like for demonetization, he always criticizes him. But then because he is a part of BJP, he has to support him. That's what it is written here. Even though sometimes the members are not actually convinced by the party's call for a particular rule and law, but irrespective of that, you have to actually support them. Now the fourth point, parties form and run government. We all know that the government is actually run by political party, and yeah. So there are two things which are written here. Political parties are formed and run by the government. First, we all know that political parties are formed. Like I said, political party all come together and form government. And second is that they actually run the government as well. Now, how will they run the government? Very important topic. So basically we know that a particular party will come and will form a government, and then and how will it form a government, we'll talk about it first. One second. So to form a government, it's a very easy simple task for any political party, that they have to get absolute majority. And to get absolute majority, you have to get 50% plus one number of seats. And this is how you will form a government. Fine. So the form of political party forms a government. Now, once they get absolute majority, we all know that one person cannot run the whole government. So what happens is, to run a government, we need a leader, and then the leader will have council of minister. They'll be having ministers with them who will take charge of different ministries. So this is what it is written here in this particular thing. We'll read it up. As we noted last year, that the big policy decisions are taken by political executive that comes from the political parties. Parties recruit leaders, train them, and then make the ministers to run the government in the way they want. Exactly. So इसमें simply लिख देना that political party, which are political parties are the one who are responsible to form a government. And how will they form a government? By getting absolute majority. First point. ठीक है, I'm cutting it short and simple. So to form a government, they have to have absolute majority, and to run a government, the leader has to have different different members from the political party who can actually run different ministries, and for that they train them and give the power to the leaders. Now the fifth point, this is also very easy and very simple stuff. The role of opposition, we all know that the role of opposition is actually a very important thing, because it actually try to criticize the government. And when the government criticize when the opposition criticizes the active government, the government gets to know that what wrong are they doing, or what are actually the loopholes which they are missing out. So to have an opposition is very important. So the fifth point talk about the opposition. The sixth point on the other hand talks about shapes public opinion. We all know that each and every party, national party, have their mm, their this thing, their groups and their regions in different parts of India. So what happens is that sometimes people come to these political party and then try to tell them the issue which is pertaining in India. And then these parties, what they do is, because they have a lot of members in all over India, what happens is, like, so let's suppose if a political party, okay, is not in power and they get to know that something wrong is happening in India. Like, we'll take a situation of Agniveer. Okay, Agniveer was one such issue which actually took a lot of light from opposition party, because they got to know that there is a flaw in this particular rule which is there. So what happened is, a lot of people showed their interest and showed their concern and their grievances regarding to Agniveer. And then the opposition political party, they came together. They actually didn't came together. They came on road and they started protesting against it. So this also is a very important thing. A public, they actually shape public opinion, and once they get to know that there is something problematic or there's something which is of public interest which is happening, then what this political party, generally the opposition party, would do is they start doing protests and marches. And this actually will again catch lights and eyes of the people in the government. And that's what happened with Agniveer. A lot of things, protests and stuff happened, and then there was certain glitches which were solved by the government later. Now the seventh point is that access to government machinery and welfare. That means whatever welfare schemes and government programs and schemes comes, it all goes, or it all passes through the political parties or the ministers or the public leaders, and not by the government. Fine. So this is what it is written, because it is very easy to approach a local party member for any welfare scheme rather than a government office. So because people very much are connected to their local party or local leaders, rather than this particular political party, sorry, or rather than the government officer. Fine. So this is the six, or sorry, 7 points of functions. We'll try to recap once again. The first point is that the political party contests elections. Second is that they frame policies and program. Third point would be that they play a very decisive or major roles in making decisions. They form and run government. How do they form government? 50% plus one seat. Second, running the government, they have ministers who will be a part of council of ministers and different ministry, and they'll be taking over that. Fifth would be role of opposition, where they'll be playing the role of opposition and criticizing the government for their wrongdoing. Sixth, they'll also shape public opinion. If they find that there is some issue in public opinion, or if they find that there is some problem going on in public, they'll try to amplify the voices of the people and try to rectify it. Seventh would be they get access to government machinery, that is policy and program, and then welfare schemes.